I'm Soph.
Together we are Becca and Soph,
Soph.
and that also happens to be our Instagram. We'll put it on the screen here. Go follow us and subscribe if you haven't already. So in today's video, it's all about LinkedIn.
It is. So it's how to stand out on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it for a number of years now, so we do have a few top tips.
Yes.
If you don't know what LinkedIn is, it's a platform for professional networking.
Yeah.
It's kind of a form of social media, but you have to keep it professional.
Yeah, think like Facebook, but for work.
So let's run you through some top tips.
Yes.
Top tip number 1 is that your LinkedIn profile is basically a reflection of your CV.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you update on your CV, you can also at the same time be updating your LinkedIn profile.
Absolutely, yeah. But you can also add a little bit more detail, I feel like, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, people go into more detail, don't they?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
we would say keep it professional and keep it updated. But what we're going to do now is run through the different elements of your LinkedIn profile and just kind of give you our advice on what we'd put in each section.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of the photo and the cover photo, do you have any top tips?
Well, actually, I have a headshot, I think, like a professional headshot on mine. So when I did drama, we used to get headshots for that. But then when I worked at one of my previous companies, they actually did like a photo day and like gave us all headshots. So I used that as my
It's really
photo.
nice and really clear.
Yeah, very clear. I think that's really important, you know, plain background, a really clear picture of you, like just your shoulders up and like your head,
So I'm waiting for my professional headshot from my company. So right now it's just me at Law Ball.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's nice, but it's not as professional as I would like.
Yeah.
So really, as soon as you have a chance to get a professional photo from your company or just take some with your friends or family.
Yeah, I think just on like a blank wall or like you know, with like wallpaper that's fairly plain, and make sure the lighting's really good and that you can see your face clearly and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't pull any silly faces, you know, just
don't have a drink in your hand.
Yeah, no. Not like, it's not like a passport photo, but it just needs to be, you know, professional.
And then in terms of your cover photo, you can either have the plain LinkedIn one, which I think is blue.
Yeah, I've got just the default one.
Yeah, which looks really smart and professional. Or I've been told you can have one that reflects kind of the stage that you're at. So when I was at the University of Birmingham, I had a photo of campus, like a pretty photo, and it is still there, so I know I need to change it. But if you're, for example, working in London, some people have like the skyline of London there, or some of the tall tower buildings. Or if you're working for a certain company and they kind of want you to have a cover photo to represent the company you're working for, that could also be there.
If you're your own, like you've got your own company, then maybe your logo, you could just design like a pretty one for that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can really like make it your own, and I don't think there's like a right way to do.
No, as long as it looks smart and neat, I think people are happy to look at anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that, what have we got? So
after that, we have the headline.
Yeah.
So this is short and snappy to just describe the stage of life that you are at.
Yes.
So whilst I was at university, we were told to put, for example, first year LLB law student at University of Birmingham, and then we would change it each year. And then now our headlines reflect like our jobs. So mine is legal assistant at and yours is I was about to say.
And mine is associate at, and then the company I work for. So it doesn't really have to be anything special, you know, just a very short synopsis of what you're doing right now.
Absolutely. The next bit down is called about, and this really is different for everyone. Some people go into great detail about their life story,
really long,
who they are and kind of where they came from and what they've done with their life, and other people are short to the point, and some people also don't have one.
I don't have one, I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely fine. So mine is really to the point. It says the degree that I got and the university that I went to, and then my current job title and where I work.
And
that's fine, because if LinkedIn is for professional networking, that's all people need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can have it, is it like a summary section on your CV?
Yeah.
You can like have it similar to that if you wanted to as well. It just completely depends on like how much you want to share in that space. I feel like with LinkedIn there's a lot of different spaces where you can put information, so you just kind of pick and choose.
Absolutely.
want
And
to.
also it might be reflective of your industry. So for example, if you're in marketing, it might be the case that loads of marketers do put that whole
a
description
lot more
in.
and make it really vibrant.
Yeah, so I think see what other people are doing. You can have a look at other people's profiles and then kind of get a grasp of what you
I really do
need to
think
put
that's
in
the
yours.
best way to navigate through LinkedIn. Like,
I do.
copy someone's who, or not copy, take inspiration from
Yes,
someone's
that's a good term.
who you think it looks really good.
Yeah, so then the next section after about is called featured.
Yes.
Again, you don't have to use this, but if one of your posts has done really well or you want people to know something about you straight away when they are scrolling, you would star it and it comes up in your featured section. So one of my posts just happened to do quite well. It was an announcement that I got my job. It had like 20,000 views, which is crazy. So I thought, of course, I'm going to have that in my featured section.
I think another good point about LinkedIn to note is a lot of people, it's not like Facebook and Instagram where you get a lot of interactions with it. A lot of people see it but don't like it or heart it or whatever. So don't feel disheartened if you are posting and like people probably are seeing it.
People are seeing it.
It's not like as like the likes and everything aren't as big on LinkedIn as they are on like Facebook and Instagram.
Agreed. So then next on your profile, I'm trying to envision it, is your activity. So anything, as Becca said, you can like and comment on people's posts, and if you do, it comes up on your activity. So something to watch out for is that employers can scroll down your profile, and if there's something that they've seen that you've interacted with, they might be interested.
But definitely support your friends and everything on LinkedIn, and you know, if there is something, don't be afraid to interact with it.
I think they quite like when you're active on LinkedIn,
absolutely,
so go for it.
But just be cautious of, you know, everyone can see what you're liking.
The final part of your profile is basically the bit that's a reflection of your CV. So it has your experience first, and then your education, and then a bit about
like additional skills,
like activities, volunteering. You can also recommend people, can't you, and say that people are really skilled in certain sections. So endorsement, that's the term. So this section's really lovely because you can just put the bullet points from your CV, but then you can bulk it out a bit.
Absolutely.
Still have those doing words. I start mine with those. But it's also really pretty because each of the companies have their logo, so you can see it as you scroll down.
Apart from there's one company that I worked for that doesn't have a logo. It's so frustrating because all the others look so pretty and there's just that one, but it's okay. We'll let it slide.
We will. So people are really impressed when you have like a in-depth comment or description about the experience that you gained or your education. So definitely put the time into kind of bulking it out and making it sound good.
I would keep it bullet points rather than paragraphs. Like a CV, just make sure it's, you know, quite snappy and to the point.
Okay, so that was top tip number 1. Top tip number 2.
Gosh, that was a
These
long
will
one.
be a bit shorter. Top tip number 2 is to make connections. So you've established your profile, it's looking really good, it's looking professional, but who's going to see it if you don't have connections?
Connections are like friends or like followers or subscribers or whatever. Like they're the people that you're like connected with, so you can see all their posts, they can see all yours.
So with connections, I would say send out connections to all of your friends if they have LinkedIn, and your family members if they're part of companies that you're interested in.
And your friends' parents as well.
So start to build that up. But then professional networking is about once you meet them at a networking event, say, oh, can I add you on LinkedIn? And then when you're on your way home, make sure you've got the accurate like note of their name, and then request to add them on LinkedIn, but send a personal invite.
Definitely. I was going to say, go on, explain. So what's a personal invite?
So you can add a note or a message to your invite. So they might have met 500 people, say if it's at a law fair or a networking event, and they might not remember exactly who you are. So if you say, hey, it was great to meet you at this event, it was really interesting to talk to you about X, Y, Z, then they'll be like, oh yeah, that was the girl that asked me about this. And they'll know who you are. I went to one like vacation scheme online, and this one guy received over 1,000 LinkedIn requests.
Oh my gosh.
And he put a status to say like, don't just add me if you're not going to make it personal. Make sure you reach out to me and tell me like what impact I made on your day or how you gain knowledge from the event that I had posted.
Absolutely.
So personalize your invite. And in terms of making connections, what would you say?
So for example, whenever I did a work experience placement or anything, I'd always like add the main people that I spoke to, not every single person I spoke to, but like the main people who like I had a really good conversation with or that were leading it, and especially if they're in the like HR recruitment team. I think that's really good if you can try and add, because they're probably the ones that are going to be like interviewing you, or at least like going through your applications and stuff like that. And I think if people see, oh, they're connected with so and so, like maybe we can speak to them about that. So I think that's a really good tip for like how to get connections in your professional network. Just do work experience and then add them all at the end. So I actually did that. I think it was in year 12 we did work experience, and I did like 2 placements and added everyone from those, and then you did that.
So I started mine
for your back scheme, didn't you?
Yeah, I started mine in 2nd year of uni because that's when the careers people really pushed it. But as Becca said, if you're starting work experience early and think that you can gain valuable connections, then do get LinkedIn early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's not a fully established profile because you haven't done too much. If you do your first work experience placement, start adding people.
Yeah,
because you never know, they could help you in the future.
Absolutely,
or introduce you to somebody else.
Definitely.
The 3rd top tip is to update your network and stay active and interact with people. So as we said earlier, your profile is a reflection of your CV. So if you've done a new work experience, add it to your LinkedIn. But also there is a status feature, so you can kind of, on Facebook, it's similar, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Write a status and then publish it to the world. So I would write if I gained a new skill by doing a week-long course, or if I got a new job, or if I did a work experience placement. Just kind of the big announcements, isn't it?
Yeah, and people make personal announcements on there as well sometimes too. Yeah, so just, you know, what you want people in your network to see, basically. Think about that.
But definitely update them every time there's a new big thing to tell them about, because I've had grad recruiters before saying, oh, it'd be useful if you had 6 months paralegal experience. So if you've got them on LinkedIn and then you can say, oh, I got a job, and then they can see how long you've had the experience for, then they're like back onto like, oh, I've seen that you've got the experience. So it's really good to keep them updated. And it does sometimes feel, LinkedIn's very showy, isn't it? It can be.
Yeah, it's a little bit cringy sometimes when you're posting.
But you do have to just sell yourself, don't
Absolutely, yeah. And another point on that as well, my posts always do better when I've got photos in them. And lots of photos that people can scroll through as well is always good. You don't have to, like yours have done well, they're happening
when they're just announcements, but yours look really good because they're visual and people like interacting with that.
If you think about it, if you're scrolling through like hundreds of people, there's like statuses on LinkedIn, like the ones that are going to stand out are the ones that are like big announcements or photos, really. So okay, so finally, to close off, we've got one last tip, and that is to create a personal URL. So you can do this on your phone. If you go to the top left corner, click on your face, and then you click on settings, then go to visibility, edit your profile, and then it's like the top line on that, it says like personal URL. And usually you put like your first and last name, probably?
Yeah, it just looks way better than having all these numbers. So they're the ones that LinkedIn automatically generate for you. But if you can cut it down to just your first name and last name, or for example, I had to put my middle name because mine was already taken. That looks way better, because sometimes when you're applying for jobs, employers ask for your LinkedIn URL.
They do,
it's not mandatory, but you can put it in there.
Or on your CV, sometimes you can put a link.
Yes,
or whatever.
I do. And if you quite like your LinkedIn, like, why not share it?
Absolutely, yeah.
But it just looks way better to have your name and all of the numbers.
To do as well.
It is.
But yeah, that's everything from us today. Thank you so much for watching. Like we said earlier, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below saying, you know, any questions about LinkedIn or any of your top tips for LinkedIn. Let us know. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.